Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've teamed up with Wool to bring you two beautiful hair looks using their styling iron. So this is the box that the styling iron comes in. Inside is a pouch that holds the actual styling iron itself, and as you unfold the pouch it actually has a detachable magnetic heat-proof mat for your styling iron. It has a 360 swivel cord, which is great so you don't get tangled up. It has a nice silicone sleeve which protects your ceramic plates. The ceramic plates themselves are slightly contoured, which is great for curling as well as straightening. And it has instant touch controls for variable heat. When you turn it on, it instantly heats up and it turns on to the automatic optimum heat setting, which is 185. It also has a lower heat of 160 and a higher heat of 210. Before turning the heat tool on, I'm going to show you the technique. The first look I'm going to show you is how to wave your hair using the styling iron. Take a thin section of hair no wider than the ceramic plates. You're then going to clamp that section of hair and just gently rotate your styling iron backwards and forwards whilst coming down the length of your hair. The ceramic plates will get very hot, so it's a good idea to practice this before you turn your styling iron on until you're comfortable with the rotation technique and the placement of your hands. The contour plates themselves have contoured edges, and this is what's going to give that wave to the hair. So my hair is freshly washed and blow dried. There's a few kinks in it, but that's okay because we're going to be waving it anyway. I'm just standing up so you can really sort of see the full length of my hair because I can't get it all in on camera. I'm going to separate my hair using the Wool sectioning clips that come with the styling iron. I always like to section my hair off from ear to ear and work with the bottom half first. If your hair is thicker or fuller, feel free to put this into more manageable sections. So starting with my first section, I'm going to clamp down just above the ear and instantly rotate the styling iron away from my face. Once I've done a full turn, I'm going to instantly start rotating the iron the other way whilst pulling it down the hair. The great thing about this styling iron is that optimum heat setting means you get the same results but with less heat. And we all know less heat equals less damage. I do find because I'm right-handed, when I'm working on the right side of my head, I find it a lot easier to rotate the styling iron backwards and forwards. When I'm working on the left side of my head, I find I need both hands because it can get a little bit more fiddly. But that's why it's really important to have a practice with this before you turn your styling iron on. And the idea is to really keep the styling iron moving through the hair as you rotate it. That's what's going to give you that beautiful wave. I do find I need to try and lift the ends of my hair up so you can see what I'm doing as I get to the ends because they actually go out of the camera shot. But if your hair is long like mine, you'll find it's quite easy when you get to the bottoms because you can fully see what you're doing. You don't have to lift it up like I'll be doing. This is also a great style if you've got shorter hair because it's a great way to add body, volume and texture to your hair without losing any length. And also, you may not know, but the styling iron itself helps to prevent colour in your hair from fading. So I finished the bottom layer of my hair. I'm now taking down a new section, and this time we're going to change it up a little bit. Taking our forefinger, I'm going to weave through that section of hair so we end up with two new sections, but they're in individual pieces. This is where we're going to start creating volume to the waves. Rather than them being all flat and uniformed, we want them to all be a little bit different. So if we wave them in weaved sections, the sections themselves don't all lay flat together, they lay on top of each other. And this is going to make your hair get a little bit more voluminous. As you wave down the hair, it's quite important just to make sure that the flat section of hair that hasn't yet been waved stays within the parameters of the ceramic plates. If they fall either side of it, it's not going to get any heat and it's not going to take on the shape. So if you're taking slightly wider sections like I am here, make sure you hold on to the bottom of the hair hanging out of the styling iron like you can see me doing here, just to make sure it stays in the ceramic plates. I'm now going to wave the last section on the left side of my head because this is the side that I wear my part in, and rather than having a straight part in, I'm going to create a bit of a zigzag, and this does not need to be neat. This also helps to create a little bit of bounce to the root, and it's cohesive with the wave that we've got going on throughout the hair. So now I'm taking this section, and again I'm taking my forefinger and I'm weaving through this section again so it's not going to be too uniformed. I'm going to take the top section and pin that out of the way, and I'm going to wave the bottom section first. I've taken out the little front section of my fringe because I'm going to do any of the fringe sections last when I've turned the styling iron off. Also, I should probably note that I have sprayed some heat protection onto my hair before I blow dried it. So just continuing to wave all the way down the length of my hair, and then I'm going to move on to the next section, take that down and do exactly the same. Now remember to always rotate your styling iron away from your head first because we want to lift that root. If you rotate it towards your head, you're just going to flatten the root. You always want that little bit of bounce at the top if you can get it. So that's the left side of my head complete. I'm now just going to weave the right side of my part in and then complete those two sections, and then I'm going to turn the styling iron off to do my fringe. You'll notice that the more you do this, the quicker you'll become at it. It takes me around 15 minutes to do my whole head, and for the sections at the back I just put them around to the front. What's great about this style is it doesn't matter too much if it's not super close to the root, and if you've got layers it looks even more beautiful. So yeah, it just suits everybody, this style. So I've just turned the styling iron off and now I'm going to wave my fringe. I just like to make sure that I turn the iron off to do anything that's really delicate around the front of my hair. I like to finish off my style with some dry oil. You can put texturizing spray in, you can do anything that you want. I like it to still look quite soft, but the dry oil just makes it look a little bit more tame. And then sometimes I like just to pop in a little braid at the top of my hair, and this is the finished beachy wave using my styling iron. So I'm going to move on to look number 2. First off, again, I'm going to show you the curl technique before we turn the styling iron on. So again, we're taking the same section of hair, no wider than the ceramic plates, if not a little bit smaller this time, because we need to be able to rotate the styling iron around the hair consistently in a 360 motion. But we also want to make sure that the ends of the hair do not fall out of the sides of the ceramic plates. Once again, as we rotate that styling iron, we want to take it down the whole length of the hair. So I've turned my styling iron on, it's heated up, and I'm now going to start on the left side of my head, and I always rotate this away from my face because I want the curls around the perimeter of my face to fall softly backwards rather than forwards. As the iron works down through the length of the hair, I'm consistently rotating it, which is great because the 360 cord doesn't get tangled. And you'll see once we get to the very ends, we end up with a beautiful curl. If you miss the very ends like I just did, you can just go back in and give it a little curl. As I've got very, very long hair, I like to set the curl while it cools. So I like to wrap it back up and pin it until it's cooled using the sectioning clips. Otherwise, the weight of my hair can often pull the curl out because it comes out of the styling iron quite hot and then it will set in that position. When I'm curling a section of hair from the back, I like to use the styling iron in a forwards motion, which is the opposite to what I do around the front of the face. Having curls facing various directions creates more volume to the hair. They don't all kind of lock together and form one big curl. Instead, you just create more volume and shape, and it just prevents them locking into one another. So by the time I've curled a new section, the pinned section has cooled enough for me to remove the clip. For each new section of hair that I pull down, I tend to create around 5 curls, 2 on either side and 1 at the back. You may find it easier on the opposite side of your head to lift your elbow up and have the styling iron facing slightly more downwards. It makes rotating it a lot easier, and you'll see that with that swivel cord, you're not going to get all tangled up. The more you practice this, the easier it will become. At first you might find it a bit fiddly doing one side of your head compared to the other, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And just look how beautiful these curls are. They're so smooth from the ceramic plates as well. It really does give the hair a beautiful shine. Once again, I'm just showing you this technique again with the styling iron facing slightly downwards, just to show you how easy it is for this side of your head. Another little tip is not to clamp too hard onto the hair, because otherwise you'll find it quite hard to rotate through the hair, especially if it's long. Once you've rotated it a few times, the hair can almost work a bit like a Chinese finger trap. You can't then sort of rotate it anymore because it locks in place. So the more gentle you are on the hair itself, the easier it will be to rotate it. So I finished the majority of my hair. I'm now going to turn the styling iron off and just complete my fringe. Again, I'm going to curl these away from my face. And once I've taken the styling iron away from the fringe itself, I like to hold it out in place because there's some residual heat in there and I don't want it to curl up too much because I want it to be quite a soft curl. You'll see here where my fringe is quite short, I can just rotate it in place until the hair is completely wound through the styling iron. So now all the curls have cooled down, I can shake them without the fear of them falling out, and as you can see my hair looks super silky and soft and the curls are really, really beautiful. I like to give it a soft shake out just so it makes it all a little bit bigger. I'm going to stand up a little bit so you can see the ends of my hair because I can't get them all on camera, but it does make my hair a tiny bit shorter because they bounce up, but it's so beautiful. Again, if your hair's the same sort of length as mine, I would definitely recommend pinning the curl while it cools so that you don't lose any of that curl in the mid lengths of your hair. If you're interested in checking out the Wahl styling iron for yourself, they have kindly given my followers a discount, which is on screen for you now, but it's also a link in the description bar for you. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will do my best to get back to you. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't forget you can follow me outside of YouTube on my social handles. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon. Bye!